It's not people who are righteous. It is God alone. The only righteousness we can know comes from God calling us first. It's about calling, not the people's choice. Next, we must acknowledge that God's calling is not the same as the people's choice. We want to thank God that He chooses and calls whom He calls based not upon majority vote. We would like that. We like to think that our collective judgment, that our idea is what God would have us do. We would like to think that God confirms our majority vote on things, but that's not the way God works. It's not His way. He calls whom He calls, and we, the people, have nothing to say about it. But that's okay, because He's God and we're the people. Saul was the people's choice. King Saul, tall, handsome, competent, and brave. He was the obvious choice for king from the people's point of view. But Saul ultimately failed. Saul is what happens when you give the people what they want. How do we remain firm believers in democracy and majority rule? Well, we continue to pick our leaders based on majority votes in a process that we have come to think of as holy and just, democratic government. But with every election, we run the risk of electing another King Saul, do we not? And let's be clear. If Israel in the wilderness had been allowed to vote, they would have gone back to the flesh pots of Egypt every single time. But as God called Moses to lead them, He also promised the people a promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Their faithfulness was entirely a matter of trusting God to follow through with His promises. That is also what faith is for us, trusting God to follow through with His promises. Voting can only measure a consensus of the people. It cannot determine truth or right from wrong. As we all know, the majority can be wrong.